Community School Board meeting. Please join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. That was awesome. Okay. Item 1.2, opening, setting of agenda for the meeting. Are there any changes to the posted agenda?
Yeah, we do have some additions. We had a resignation of a bus driver and a kindergarten teacher at Washington. 2 transfers, one at Webster, one at Riverside. Summer school library appointment. Transfer from substitute teacher to an aide at Jefferson. Addition of a substitute teacher and aide. Appointment-wise, some conferences added, donation of Riverside, and then we did add, right after the agenda was posted, St. Joseph Regional Medical Center school nurse summer contract amendment.
Do I have a motion to set the agenda?
So move.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. 1.3, audience participation. Are there any agenda items that anyone in the audience would like to discuss? Okay, seeing none, we'll have another opportunity at the end of the meeting. Item 2.1, appoint candidate for board vacancy. As many of you know, we had a board member move out of the area and he can no longer be a part of the board. So the last couple of weeks we interviewed 9 candidates, and it was a fantastic process, and I want to thank all of you who applied and interviewed with us. It was everyone was very committed, and it was great to see. It was a great process for us, so thank you. And with that, is there a motion to appoint?
I move to appoint Allie Shook for the vacancy made by Larry Holloway.
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion?
It was very hard. Really, really hard to decide. So.
Any other comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Allie? Please come forward. And you start now. So Robin is going to come forward and administer your oath.
If stand, please. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will support the Constitution of the United States of America, the Constitution of the State of Indiana, the laws of the United States and the State of Indiana, and you will faithfully execute the duties of your office as a member of this governing body, so help you God?
I do. Thanks for letting me repeat.
Thank you very much. And again, thank you everyone who participated. As Robin said, it was a very, very tough, many good, well-qualified candidates. So, congratulations.
Before we move on, I would like to take this opportunity to just recognize and thank Larry Holloway. Larry served 36 years as a teacher and a coach and administrator, and also 10 years as a part of the school board, and I appreciate his dedication and commitment, and wish he and Michelle all the best. So just wanted to let Larry know.
Thanks. Okay. Focus on learning.
Yes, tonight we have Webster Elementary. Mrs. McGuire, would you mind starting off our introduction?
Sure. So we have some of our kindergartners here with us this evening. We have our 3 kindergarten teachers, Mrs. Lips, Mrs. Mann, and Mrs. Cover. And they brought 2 kids from each of their classes. Oh, they're going to go. Oh, well, I'm sorry. They must have practiced that. But corporation-wide, we implemented a program called Wilson Foundations in kindergarten this year. And it encompasses like letter recognition and building fluency and reading and writing and all of those things. So we are just really excited about some of the things that our kindergartners are able to do in kindergarten this year. And our first grade teachers had the opportunity to go in the kindergarten classrooms and serve. And they were really excited to see the things that the kids were coming with, that foundational piece to kindergarten. And getting to the point in the year where we're going to see the outcome of that, the application and some of their writing, and just really excited that will be expanded to first grade corporation-wide next year. So this is the first time we've ever brought kindergartners, but we are really excited and they are really excited to be here as well. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Ready?
My name is Mason Scott. My name is Luke Ruth. My name is Tara Conway. My name is Kelly Munson. My name is Lydia Cooper. My name is Jacob Gordon.
I don't know what to say.
I'm
terrified.
Oh, that's terrifying. I'm the same way. I'm nervous. At the beginning of the year, we start by modeling this for them, making the letters, the keyword, and the sound. But they'd like to model for you that they can do it all on their own now. So it's the first part.
J jug jug. D dog duck. CH chen chop. U WH whistle blow. Z button.
Very good. Okay, so with our sounds, we're going to model some words. These are copies, okay? So if we said jug, stand up.
Jug.
Jug. Okay, to another one. Back.
Back. Back.
One more. Okay, top.
Top.
And we're going to move on to some sentence building and sentence reading. So if you want to come up here a little bit.
Here.
You're going to try to use the lines and just okay, so here's our second part out. Okay. How many words do they need? Did the yellow duck quack? Is a yellow duck quack? Okay, you go ahead and do the first string that we would need. Okay, right here is magnetic. Good. Size. You think that's a good one? What did you pick that one for?
Because I think I'm excited about it.
I'm sorry, prefer the. Okay, good. Up. No.
Question mark.
Question mark. There we go. Let's read that together. Okay, ready?
Did the yellow duck quack?
So do we write a number of frames?
Yeah.
Okay, now we
was wearing the glass.
We're used to each other.
Is a yellow duck quack?
Okay, good. Alright. There you go. Okay, our next sentence, you're gonna come over and find the word that you're gonna need, okay? Okay, read the words. Okay. Okay, let's stop this one. We hope they had fun. Alright, which one would you need first? Turn up a little higher, so audience, there we go.
That's super funny.
Charlie? They. Lee, you'll come down and find John. Jacob, come get your punctuation. The punctuation man.
Yeah.
Alright. You got it.
I got it. Well, that worked.
Okay, let's see that.
We hope they have fun.
All right, good job.
All right, well, next, they will be reading a story for you. So this is just to show you that they are applying this in their reading as well. So I'm going to have you turn around and make sure each one has a book. Actually, I know we didn't practice this. Yeah, yes, that is true. Would you mind going to the front cover papers and reading the title together?
Chug, chug, chug.
Good. So now Macy's going to start off our first page.
The train will go past us, said Dad. Chug, 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 said Ben. When will the train come? Asked it. It will chug past us, Dad said. Then we will see it chug, 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 said Ben.
And turn the page.
What is that, said Ben. It is a big train, said Dad. Here it is, said Ben. Chug, chug, chug. It was such a big train, said Dad. Did you like it? Yes. We did, said and it ticked. Check to see, Dad, which train will come, which train will chug past. I will check, Ben, said Dad. It will chug past us in just a bit, said Dad. Then jugs and claps. Chug, 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 said Ben.
Great. Remember, we're going to read the last page together. So we're going to wait till everyone's there. Good. Ready?
Look, that is Here it is. I can see my it. Yell, chug, Mom. Yell, then.
Wow.
Well, that was one.
What would a little kindergarten presentation be without the song?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know about the song. You're the one good song.
We like school. We like school. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Kindergarten is fun. Kindergarten is fun. Hip, hip, hooray. Hip, hip, hooray.
Thank you guys. You guys were awesome.
Very good. Excellent.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. You guys did a great job. Very impressive.
And thank you, parents, for coming.
Yes, thank you very much. You're welcome to stay if you would like to. But you don't have to.
Get them back.
Yeah.
We'll be busy tomorrow.
Thank you very much. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so on to the consent agenda. Is there anything that anybody would like to pull out to discuss? No? All right, then I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All right. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Business transaction, project update.
So I'll have Ted pull up the update. I told Derek I would cover for him tonight from Skillman. Things are still moving along, and really, if you could, Ted, just shift to the pictures. The other updates are things that you just read through, if you've not already, but the pictures will show just that we continue to make progress. They start on the second floor of the academic wing, and are really starting to work their way towards the middle. So the big wall that you can see in the center of all of it is kind of the divider between the cafeteria and the museum office areas. And you'll also see they're starting to pour the slab on grade there in the gym, field house area, and then there's a monumental stairway that's going to be in the academic wing, and you see that they've set the precast on that as well. So that's going to kind of sort of be stairs to the second story that will lead to the media center, and then the second floor of the academic wing, but it's also a flexible space that can be utilized for larger group presentations and some workouts for classes and things like that. So they are still just slightly behind schedule on things from the winter months. The plan is in the next couple of months that they'll be caught up and right on track.
They're still pretty much on schedule.
Yeah, I mean, it's slightly off, but the plan is here, let's say this summer, that they'll get that call out pretty quickly.
Any questions? Okay. 5.2, consider permission to advertise sealed bids for Plymouth High School HVAC system upgrade.
Yes, this has been a part of this big project, the Lincoln project. It's been a part of our plans from the beginning. So I say that to say there's no, it'll be paid for from the bond proceeds for that project. The plans include replacement of the chiller at the high school, as well as replacement of some unit ventilators in a lot of our classrooms. It's been timely. If you recall, this past fall, we did have some air quality issues. They were in the classrooms and are being addressed by this. And so I do have Brian here from Barton Co. as well to just talk a little bit more about the scope and what we're looking at. And I think we've got some images up here for you to be able to see as well. Brian?
Thank you. Yeah, on the maps that you have on your screen, yellow, orange areas are rooms that are getting unit vent replacements, and we've labeled those base bid unit vent replacements. So on the first floor, and there's some additional ones on the second floor that all follow into what I call base bid category. And then if you're not familiar with that process, in the green rooms, we're bidding in groups of 3 alternate bids. So once we receive actual construction bids from the contractors proposing in the project, it gives the board some flexibility to either award all of those, or you may choose to award only some of the alternates or none of those alternates. So that's kind of a cost control measure. We have seen construction costs kind of continuing to go up over the last 6 to 9 months. So this gives the board some freedom to make decisions after the numbers are received. So those are the yellow and green areas on the plan. The blue area just highlights the mechanical room if you're not familiar with that, and a portion of the pen outside the mechanical room. That's where not only the chiller itself, which sits outside, but some of the tie-in and connections in the mechanical room would occur. So that's kind of a 30,000 foot level view. If you're not familiar with unit ventilators, they're what pull fresh air in from the outside, delivered into the classroom. These are, I believe, all the oldest ones in the building, if I'm not mistaken. The configuration that you're probably used to from those old style classrooms, there's a horizontal unit about the size of one of these tables. It sits by the window, draws in fresh air, and kind of dumps it right on the floor, kind of out into the air, right at that location. For the most part, what we're replacing those with then, especially on your exterior walls, is a vertical unit that gets ducted above the ceiling. So like this room, distribute the air throughout the classroom instead of just putting it right on the floor. So you get better air distribution, and it's also typically quieter than those existing units, not only because of the age, but because you're dispersing the air out through more of the room rather than blowing it out right in one location. So there's multiple benefits to doing that. Some of the unit vents are in-ceiling units and horizontal in-ceiling units. Those are in rooms that are more geared to just be kind of replaced one for one. So we have some of those locations, and those, I think those mostly occur in those alternate bid areas. We go back to that same style of unit that leaves the room, it's kind of done that way for a reason in the first place, that it leaves more flexibility within the room in some of the special purpose spaces. So it's kind of a high level overview in terms of schedule. If you choose to move forward this evening, we would issue drawings and specifications to bidders. We would have a pre-bid meeting on May 28th. We would open bids June 11th, and then bring those bids back before the board at first July meeting to consider the base bid and the alternate pricing. And then the work would occur throughout the fall and winter of this year, and be completed just after the new year next year. So you have enough breaks and then rooms available that we can stagger construction so that the work could be spread out throughout the school year. So it doesn't have to be limited to summertime only renovation. That's the overview of the scope for that. Other questions?
Well, it's definitely needed, that's for sure.
There is if you can scroll, there's showing a second story as well as the academic side of the south side here also. That's including some rooms for base bids.
I would so move. We approve.
Okay. Any other discussion? Do you have anything to add, Dave? No? Okay, thanks. All right, hearing no other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right. Item 5.3, consider bid for sale of semi-trailer.
Well, last month, the board approved advertising for sale bids. We received those, and tonight recommend to you that we award the bid to Aaron School Corporation and the Music Boosters. They were the only bid received. So that's our recommendation that you accept that.
I would entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor,
Is
say
there any conditions on this that John Glenn does do better than he does or anything?
Nothing formally, no.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Consider St. Joe Regional Medical Center School Nurse Summer Contract Amendment.
This is an annual amendment that comes before the board that adds the summer nursing services to help our summer school. It is a lesser amount than last year. So it's presented to you for your consideration for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Acknowledge receipt of paid lunch equity.
This is not an action item for the board. Last month, you approved an increase in school lunch prices. This is the sheet that goes along with that shows the justification for that and kind of the mandate that comes from those that oversee it. You'll notice in it that while we had the increase, we did not increase as much as that formula would have suggested. We just had to show that increase. So again, this will just be that the minutes reflect the board has received that.
Thank you. Item 5.6, review selections for curriculum content adoption.
So we're recommending to the board to have Study Sync by McGraw-Hill and Perspectives by Pearson as our final two choices for our curriculum material adoptions for grades 6 through 8. Both will be for public display and available at Riverside and Lincoln as well as here in the boardroom. We have samples here this evening as well. But to move forward with our final two choices for review.
And then this will be brought back for approval next month.
Next month, okay. All right, thank you. 5.7, legislative report.
Well, the legislative session has concluded, and we've seen the headlines that there are historic increases for education, that we've dug in and analyzed the potential impact for Plymouth, combined with our enrollment projections at this point. The projection that we see about 0.4% increase from next year. I stated over the past couple of months that we have and that we will continue to evaluate everything from an efficiency perspective. And I intend to communicate some recommendations to you that show how we can absorb some things through attrition at our next month's meeting in order to still make sure that we're being fiscally responsible. So, additionally, throughout the session, one bill that is getting a lot of attention right now is House Enrolled Act 1002. It's had a lot of provisions relating to workforce development, to the governor's workforce agenda. A provision of that right now that has used the word gain a lot of interest, it's creating a lot of frustration, is that for teachers who look to renew their license using professional growth points, PGPs, typically they have to have 90 if they're taking that route to renew their license. The requirement in that bill says that 15 of those PGPs have to be through an externship with business or through professional development provided by a local, state, or national group or organization that is providing professional development in the area of workforce development, workforce needs, or national needs, or things like that. It's really just, I'm not going to discredit the continued need for us to work with our local businesses and continue to strengthen those partnerships that we have. It is an additional hoop for teachers and other certified staff to jump through that. It's really quite frustrating at this point. So we've discussed it with teachers. We're certainly working with them to do everything we can to be as helpful as possible in the scope of that, and may anticipate some provisions changing in the next legislative session. We're hopeful that it might, but it's one of those things that kind of surprise all of us after the session is over. Additionally, We are moving back to 2 count days that will drive funding. So we had that previously, a September and February count that went away 2 years ago. It's come back. Will be present moving forward. An outrageously high number of school districts have experienced enrollment loss throughout the years, so back funding as well throughout the year if we were to see that same trend. So did you monitor that? The last one, I say the last one, there were several bills impacting education which we're still going through and analyzing, and I'm sure we'll receive updates at our meeting this coming week. There's House Bill 1003 that passed pretty quickly that created targets, expenditure targets for our education fund. That's one where we've already made those changes and are in line with that goal that was legislated. It's not overly concerned about that one, but it did require a lot of attention. So certainly deferring my time to PEA as well in the scope of things that you've observed. And
if you want to open the door, absolutely. I don't know about you, I get really tired once a legislation session is over, looking at the different bills that are passed. The one particular one about teacher license renewal is concerning for the simple fact that it is an extra hurdle for teachers. I'm just going to take some information off of Jennifer McCormick's Twitter account, our state superintendent. In Indiana right now, we have 35% of our new teachers leaving the profession within the first 5 years. 88% of them say it's because of the pay. So then the state legislator, in part of their CTE law that they passed, put in this additional burden on our teachers to have an externship. That means pretty much outside the school day. It would be if we want to continue to be, the best that we can in our classroom. This is an unfunded mandate, plain and simple. And going back to our state superintendent, I liked how she described it as really an unnecessary stressor in a very busy month for our teachers. And I appreciate the administration with our discussions and getting ready to work on it, but this is very disappointing because there was no teacher input when it came to this law being passed. And this is the consequence when we don't give voice to those who are in the trenches and teaching in the classroom. So I want to draw attention to it because I think we need to talk to our legislators, ask them how they voted on it, hear the reasoning behind it, and I've mentioned it to the school board before, and Mr. Hartley about reaching out to Jack Jordan and Ryan Mishler in the summer with our local corporations and our local teacher associations and our superintendents to start having some serious conversations. And so I just would like to remind you that that's on my agenda, and I'd love to see that happen this summer. Thank you.
I'll just add a little to the irony of the session as well. There was a bill that was passed that creates a committee to study all the regulations and rules tied to education over the next 4 years. And so,
Thanks, Andy. Okay. Any questions for Andy about that? I'm sure we'll see more stuff trickle out of those. Item 6.1, monthly remarks.
well, lots of really positive things after that report here, so I'm happy to jump on that. Number one, Plymouth High School has been named as a safe sports school by the National Athletic Trainers Association. It's a tribute to really our athletic trainer and our athletic department, Ryan Carroll, the care he provides for our student athletes, making sure that they're taking care of themselves first and foremost. So, proud to inform you that our music departments at Plymouth High Schools received another All Music Award from the Indiana State School Music Association. We've also had here 5 students this year earn a national honorable recognition from the National Scholastic Press Association. Proud of those 5 students. Also wanted to congratulate some junior girls who were selected to participate in the Hoosier Girls State representing Plymouth High School. Fernanda Cortez, Kelsey Cryer, Alexa Roscoe, and Mary Kate Flynn. Proud of that recognition and work they'll do there. I've always heard that's just a great experience for those kids. WDA Color Run is this Saturday at Centennial Park. This year the kids the kids work on and community connections and the proceeds that go to this year that will benefit Marshall County Neighborhood Center. We had over 37 seniors from Plymouth High School earn their certificate from Ivy Tech this year. They walked at that commencement ceremony this past weekend. Tremendous accomplishment for those students and will save them and their families some significant expenses related to higher education. We're also proud of them for that and all the work that they've done, our teachers have done, and administrators have done to get them to that point. And just lastly here, we've had several opportunities to express our appreciation with National Recognition Weeks here lately. We just got School Lunch Hero Day, we got Teacher Appreciation Week, National Principals Day, and School Nurses Week. And I just really want to say I'm really thankful for everyone's continued commitment to our students and their schools. Continue that celebration this coming week with our annual Teacher Appreciation Dinner. It's going to be on Wednesday, the 22nd. We'll start at 4 o'clock in the Red Rock Cafe, and at that time too, we'll recognize some of the retirees that announced their retirement after this year. So it was a fun afternoon and early evening. Leading me to just other upcoming dates. Reminder that Monday is the regional meeting for the School Board Association. Meeting at 5:30. If you're interested in coming, I can talk further about that. Okay. You get a lot more legislative updates from the School Board Association that evening. It's coming Friday, the 24th. Weeks, right? Thank you. A week from Friday, next week. This Wednesday meeting's kind of just.
I know.
Oh, right. Anyway. Friday the 24th will be our annual Senior Awards program in the Varsity Gym. It'll begin at 8 o'clock. The Classified Employee Breakfast Celebration for the year will be June 4th, beginning at 7:30 at Christo's Banquet Center. I'll send all this to you as well if you're able to come and let us know. We'll be happy to have you there. Our next board meeting will be Tuesday, June 4th. That will begin at 7 o'clock. Anticipated executive session before the meeting. We'll let you know the time. And then just so it's on your calendars as well, commencement Friday, June 7th, beginning at 7:30. And as with those other ones, we'll send you more specific information on times to arrive and locations and all that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That is a lot more positive.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Just ending on a good note. Item 7, audience participation. Are there any other comments from the audience? Oh, go ahead, Carol. You first.
Are you at liberty to say what the bid was for the semi-trailer and what fund is that going to?
Yes, I have that. I'll provide that to you when we're done.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
PEA would like to thank all of the board members and all of the administrators who walked alongside the teachers during the referendum. It was very disheartening of a loss, and we all share that. But I did take away a positive, and I'm hoping that all of you realize how much we have learned of each other and how we work together so very hard. And so it is a privilege to work alongside each of you, and I just take that away as a positive of how much we can work together, and even though we have different jobs, come together for the same purpose. And I thank all of you.
Thank you. Everyone worked very hard. We appreciate it too.
Sure, that's $1,200. That'll go into the operations.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Alright, if not, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Adjourn.